You know, if murdering a Charlie Kirk means murdering all who believe in truths established by God or our Creator concerning things like marriage, sex, and gender, or killing everybody who supports Israel or who worships Yeshua, Jesus Christ, that means those who hate Christ or God, righteousness, and truth will have to murder millions. And what's awesome is that how God is somehow using all of this evil and hatred to bring his people into the valley of decision like never before, where he's purging, refining, and sifting his true church of all imposters, bench warmers, and fence straddlers, while awakening all lukewarm believers from their spiritual apathy and slumber. And guess who's helping him accomplish this? That's right, Satan, our true enemy. Just like he did with the death of Christ, he always overplays his hands through unwitting vessels so that it eventually backfires and he ends up being hung on the gallows he prepared and planned to use to abort God's purposes and silence his people. Any and all effort he exerts to undermine and destroy God's purposes will actually serve to advance God's kingdom and build up his people by purging the church of hypocrites and cowards and awakening true believers to rise up and step into their destiny of being a conduit of God's glory, truth, holiness, and love in the midst of deception, evil, hatred, and chaos. For those of you who hate people like Charlie Kirk and all he stood for, and even those who celebrate his murder, you need to know that when a voice of truth and a witness for Christ is silenced through martyrdom, like Charlie Kirk was, not only does that person receive an unspeakably glorious promotion and reward for their sacrifice and service, but their death is like a seed that bears a huge harvest of fruit, the fruit of instilling courage and boldness in countless more followers of Christ, who will join the ranks of those who will love him and his ways more than their own lives in this world. Yes, I'm excited about that. I realize that's the last thing many of you would ever want to happen, but that's just the way God works. The only way you could avoid being an unwitting vessel would be to sit back and do nothing and say nothing, which I'm sure would be very difficult for many of you. Secondly, while religion says God hates those who hate him and his people, the truth is that God loves you more than you can imagine. And he proved that by willingly laying down his life in the person of Christ, while we were all sinners, filled with rage and hate towards him. And because his love is never controlling, you're free to resist his love. You're free to reject it and fight against it. But just know that if you do so, you're choosing the long, hard, and bitter road that ultimately leads to pain and sorrow. I also want to tell you that no matter how strongly you and I may disagree, or how much vitriol and hatred you show towards people like me, I love you, even though I don't know you. I've never met you. You're my fellow human being. And my prayer is that Christ would reveal himself to you in a way you've never known, that you've never experienced. He's real, people. His love is real, and he'll transform you from the inside out.